Coach Phipps' outdoor season started with a bang for the Cougars down in Los Angeles. Let's talk a little bit about starting at the USC and also at the UCLA meets last weekend, or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, that was a great experience for our team. We got in two great meets. One that we had majority of our team competing at, which was the UCLA Arizona three-way dual meet, or international scoring, I guess. And that was neat. It was on live TV. It was a great opportunity for our kids to kind of just see where they're at, but in a great competitive environment. And I thought we performed very, very well.
Is it tough to make that transition from indoors to such a big, important meet? I mean, important in that there were really high quality competitors there.
Yeah, and I think that was a little bit of our concern. We went to it last year, but they performed so well last year that I think that we were a little more confident going into it this time. And I think that also helped the kids too. They were a little more confident going from just purely training and transitioning from that indoor season and kind of getting thrown to the fire a little bit. But again, you handled it very well.
Is that a good benchmark then for your kids going forward, knowing that, okay, now we've got some competitions coming up, but now we need to make the gear towards that championship season at the end of the season?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what we talked about right after the meet. We were impressed, I was impressed and our whole staff was impressed with the way we performed, but it really did give us an opportunity to examine where we were at, what we needed to accomplish in this next training block before we start hitting some big meets and then onto our championship meets.
We saw the beautiful sunshine on that TV broadcast, but probably what we didn't see were some pretty fierce winds.
Yeah, it was, and they were unpredictable. And so they were kind of swirling. And so, for things like the 4 hurdles, when you were trying to, strategize your stride pattern and plan your stride patterning, made it a little bit difficult. That being said, I thought we had some pretty good performances in the 4 hurdles.
Let's talk about CJ Allen just for starters. That day he was the national leader. Unfortunately, a couple days later he got knocked down, but still a great time for him to start the season in the 400 hurdles.
It really was. It was about 1.5 seconds faster than he opened up last year. And the neat thing about it was with a lot less specific 400 hurdle work. So just a lot of strength training. So he's very, very fit right now, and he's going to have a great season.
Brad Stevens had to fight winds in the javelin. They were crosswinds for him, so that didn't help. But he still had a great opening season mark.
He did. At USC, opening up with over 68 meters was fantastic. And then at UCLA, came away with a win, so it's hard to complain about that. But I think he did struggle a little bit with, as with a lot of people, struggled with the, crosswind, headwind, tailwind, all in the same competition.
So you came home and there was a little competition that for the people who didn't go to Los Angeles went over to the University of Idaho and got their feet wet, which is good. So now we're going to divide and conquer here. Where some of your team's going down to the Bay Area and some are going to go up to Spokane. Tell me what the reasoning about who goes where.
Well, the original plan was to be split squad, that the distance runners would head to Stanford, which is pretty common for this time of year. That's probably one of 2 places in the nation where you see most of the NCAA qualifying marks from the steeplechase up. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. So that was, our reasoning of going to Stanford. And then splitting it with the San Francisco meet, giving some of our younger developing athletes an opportunity to compete in a great meet, just a tad bit lower level of competition than Stanford would be. And then to take our sprinters and jumpers and throwers to Arizona State the following weekend. But, we've had some great weather, and we're going to take advantage of that great weather, and people are excited about competing. So we're going to take a group who just want to get another competition, pretty low key. You can sleep in your own bed and be up there.
Up to Whitworth.
Yep, exactly. A quick trip, and that way, again, we can get a competition without missing any school, without the struggles of travel.
It's a good scenario.
It's a perfect scenario, yeah.
So what do you tell your kids at this point in the season? Are you tinkering and tweaking with skills and techniques in essence, or are you just thinking every weekend, try and obviously try and do your best, but are you looking for that qualifying mark? Are you looking for that season best this early in the season?
For some, they can get that NCAA first round qualifying mark out of the way pretty early. Someone like a CJ Allen that's a mark that's going to get him to first rounds. And so this is a pretty big training block for us, especially outside of the distance runners. This is probably one of the harder weeks that we're going to have in preparation for meets like Arizona State and Mount Sac, where after that, we're pretty confident that we're going to get majority of our NCAA first round marks. With the distance runners, it's a mixture of both. There's some, like a John Whelan that can qualify pretty easily, and that'll be our goal to get a few of those marks just out of the way. And then we have some that, backed off a little bit because they're going to need to get that qualifying mark, and they're going to need to get take advantage of every situation they can get, and Stanford is a great one.
I think Charlie Litton ran the school record in the 10K last year. She can break that this year?
That's the goal. Yeah. I think, again, with realizing how fast she went last year, the goals changed just a little bit more. We feel like she has a great chance to make it to the final round of NCAAs this year. So it's a little bit of a tweak to the training, but I think in spite of us peaking a little bit later, I still feel that a school record is in the makings anyway.
Awesome. Well, good luck to the Cougars this weekend.
Thank you very much, and go Cougs.